Hey everybody, welcome back to Blowing Card Gaming. Today is going to be a little different. I know I've posted some things in the past where I just give my thoughts and stuff on certain topics, but um, I feel like I really need to talk about something that I actually enjoy really talking about, and that's sports. I know there's a lot of talking heads out there. There's, a dime a dozen. What makes me different? Nothing. Other than as you can see, really like my hometown teams. I'm a Denver homer. I'm not gonna to sugarcoat that or go around that. Um, and it every once in a while something will come up, and I'm like, I should post this. I should post a video on this. And I've thought about, and I've even mentioned it in a couple of my past videos, where I think about really starting to uh, talk a lot more about sports and post those types of things. Um, and that kind of brings me around to what I want to talk about today. And that is we're getting ready for opening day. Um, the Rockies have been around since 1993. So this is their 30-year anniversary. In that time, they have made one World Series appearance, and I think that might be the only year they have ever won a playoff series or even a play-in game. Although they did play the Brewers in a 5 game a couple years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, back when they had John Gray and they had a better starting lineup, and things were looking somewhat more up and up for the team. That's part of what I'm probably going to talk about in future videos, and really kind of I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to go hard on the Rockies because, well, for they they really haven't done anything in that 30-year span to warrant any other reaction from their fan base other than disgust. And it seems like every single time we have somebody that's decent or even good, uh, we trade them for nothing, really, a bunch of money, and get nothing for them. It's one of those things where I think what the Rockies might need to do is just farm people at a, and it might even be at a higher rate, but um, they've never seemed to be about winning, the ownership. And that's where championships come from. That's where playoff runs come from. That's where, you know, your team looks or feels that from, and that can produce good results. Now, from the Monforts, especially, um, they say things. Um, well, let me get into it. Let me just jump right in. What I want to talk about today is pardon me, owner Dick Monfort, and his statement to the Denver Post. Quote: "We have a lot of talent. A lot of good things are going to happen, and I think they're going to start happening this year. And I think we can play 500 ball." Right there, 500 is a good goal to shoot for after last season of having, I think it was 67 wins, which they play 162 games, so 81 wins is 500 ball. Or maybe it's 164 and it's 82. I can't remember offhand. You think I would know that? I'll figure that out before I post further videos. My thing right now with that statement, while encouraging, because it takes the team, or it's trying to take the team in the right direction, into a winning direction. And maybe that's the first step. Obviously, it's the first step. You want to play over 500 ball. That's where you want to start at. But it seems like year in and year out, that's the goal for the Monforts. Um, Actually, that doesn't even seem like the goal. The goal seems to be, how much money can we get from the team? How about our glorified bar up on the rooftop at Coors Field, which Coors Field is one of the best stadiums to play in. And just, I watched something yesterday about somebody ranked the 30 Major League Baseball parks, according to the inside of them and how they felt and looked and how good they actually were. Coors Field was number 2 on that list. And I don't think that guy was from Colorado. He put Fenway at number 1, the Green Monster there. So I don't know if he's from Massachusetts or what. So there is that, but I don't think that should be the focus of your team. The focus of your team is to win the game. That's why you play the game. I know that's taking from a sound clip from a former football coach. You play to win the game. And it's true. Doesn't matter what sport it is. It's still true. You play to win the game. You play to make the playoffs. You play to win the playoffs. You play to win championships and get to the World Series. That's the point. And I can tell you from a fan's perspective, after 30 years, the fans are getting a little sick and tired of the Montforts running the Rockies and the way they're running them, which is, if it weren't for the rooftop bar, I'm not sure the Rockies would be in Colorado anymore. I think they would have had to have moved long ago because the fan base has dropped off so much. I remember going to games in 1993, the home opener of them in 1993, and Eric Young hitting first pitch home run out of Mile High Stadium back then because they didn't have Coors Field. A little bit of anger came out there, and if the Monforts ever see this video, take note of that. This is how your fan base is starting to react. When you go to a Rockies game, it's like a home away game. I see more Philly fans, I see more Yankee fans, I see more Red fans. Take your pick. Whoever's in town, they seem to have more fans in the stands than the Rockies do. It is virtually a home away game for whoever is in town. And that is unacceptable. That is not the way it should be. When the Rockies start making playoffs like they did, 5 or 6 years ago, and they made 3 or 4 of them, granted, they were all wild card appearances, but they started putting Rocky fans in the seats. That's what you want. That's how you make your money. You win the game, you make money. That's how it works. That's just the way it is. Sorry. You're not making as much money as you could be if you're greedy and, your whole intent is to make the most money from the team. You should be winning games. You should be like Brent Steinbrenner. Everybody hated him, but that guy got rings. That guy got championships. And to sit here and say, hey, good things are going to happen. I think they're going to start this year and they can play 500 ball. So what? So what? That's the statement everywhere. What have you done to improve the Rockies roster to get you in position for that? Because from where I'm sitting, from what I've seen, there haven't been any trades or people called up from the minors. There's been no significant development. that would get you to 500 ball, much less the playoffs or a first ever win of your division. 30 years, the Rockies have not one time ever won their division. Not once. It makes me sad to have that pennant up on that wall right there. Sorry, it's flipped on my screen. I pointed the wrong direction. And I'm kind of angry at the Rockies right now. So, this is not most teams. When you're getting ready to start the season, opening day, which is tomorrow. Actually, I think opening day is today. I think there are a couple teams that actually play today, but the Rockies play tomorrow. Um, it just you think there'd be more hope, like maybe this will be the year. I mean, we made some moves. Yeah, we're not the Yankees, we're not the Dodgers. You know, we're not the Houston Astros. I mean, those are the three teams that are probably everybody's picking to win the series. If you're not picking one of those teams, you're absolutely insane. Um, one of those three teams is the odds-on favorite to win it. If they actually will win or not, I don't know. Um, so yeah, this has so far been a complaint video about how the Rockies have been run for the entire time they've been a team, and why there's no hope right now. There's no hope. The Rockies, you can say 500 ball all you want. I'm gonna. The plan for me in making this video and having these thoughts, there's two things I want to do. One, pardon me, I forgot to shut my phone off. But one, I want to. I'm probably gonna produce 6 more videos. I'm gonna analyze each division. Um, and I might start with the AL West. And the Rockies division, I'm going to produce a video for that last. Okay. So, what I'm going to do is I have a great site that I just found that basically tells me every offseason move each team has made. I'm going to look at those moves and those roster spots that they're changing around. And I'm going to either grant them more wins or losses from those changes in those moves. Whether they've called up somebody from AAA, what the expectations are for that player, um, that type of thing. So the first thing is I'm going to produce an AL West, an AL Central, and an AL East, which maybe I'll start with the East because I know there's a lot of people out there that love the Yankees, they love the Sox, they love the Marlins in Toronto. You know, they love those teams from that division, and that truly is the toughest division in baseball, year in and year out. I mean, there's no two ways about it, because the Yankees have been so good for so long. The other teams, to be able to compete in that division, had to come up to their level. It just, if they wanted to win a series or even make the playoffs, they had to beat the Yankees. That's plain and simple. Everyone knows that. That's not a trade secret or anything, right? So that's how that. But I want to go over each team and kind of go over a little bit of the adjustments. Not take too much time. Really, just say, hey, like for example, and I'll talk about it when I get to the NL West, which is the Rockies division. That one I'm going to do last because I feel like I know the Rockies pretty dang well. And I saw the moves that the Padres had made, and I think, for a little bit of a spoiler, the Padres with Xavier Bogatis, um, acquisition from the Red Sox, and one or two other players, they really, the Padres, they beat the Dodgers in the playoffs last year. They didn't need to make a lot of moves, but the moves that they made improved their team. So they, in my opinion, are better than they were last year. Now, are they going to win more games than the Dodgers? Well, watch my next video and find out. Well, not my next video, the sixth video on at the NL West, and find out. Um, and until I really look at, and I haven't looked at the moves the Dodgers have made, or the Giants have made, or the Diamondbacks have made. So I don't know any of the other teams. Um, and how to rank those. I think most people are still picking the Dodgers, which is probably what's going to happen. But again, I'd like to take a look at those rosters, moves, teams, and I got a good site to do that. So I'm going to post 6 videos, and they'll probably all be about this length. And then the last one of those is going to be the Rockies. I'll probably try and get all of those done today and tomorrow, as opening day is coming around. More people are posting about baseball. Once again, everybody's got that hope, except for Rockies fans and maybe the Oakland A's fans, and who else is terrible right now? The Reds are not great. The Tigers probably not doing the best. The Brewers, Yelich is, I think they just traded him or let him go, or something to that effect. So they're worse off without him. But there is one other thing I'll mention on this video that I am going to include, because I'm thinking, really, I want to talk about improvements to the teams in players and pitching in terms of wins and losses, like having Bogartis coming from Boston to the Padres. How many more wins is that going to be for the Padres than the previous guy that was there? It's going to be more. They're going to win more games with him than they had before. How many more? Where are those wins going to come from? I don't think they're going to get too many more wins from the Rockies, because how many more times can you whip their butt in the regular season? I mean, everybody's going to win some. Everybody's going to lose some. So how many more? I don't think they're going to pull a lot of those wins from the Rockies, but maybe from the Dodgers and the Giants and the D-backs weren't. I think they may have finished last. I can't remember. I'll have to look. I know that at some point the Diamondbacks didn't look that good, but they started to improve towards the end of the season, and that's dangerous. And because of those types of things and the people that are in the NL West, I tend to think that's the second best division in baseball. If the Rockies were any good, it could compete for the best division in baseball, but we all know how that is. I don't hold any hope for this season for the Rockies, even before we start, even before the first pitch is even thrown. They're out of the playoffs. They are not going to make the playoffs. They're not going to play 500 ball. They're not going to be improved. And until they prove that they can do that, they're managed better, that the ownership really truly cares about winning and invests, not just saying, hey, we want to win, we want to make the playoffs, we want to get championships. Who doesn't? That should be what you say every time. Not oh, they can break that 500 barrier this year. Screw that. I don't want to hear that. What I want to hear is, hey, every year we're out here fighting. We had an off year last year. We've tried to make some improvements. We've improved our training. We've improved, the caloric intake and the food, or whatever you're going to do to get those regiments down and improve the players. And what are you doing in that regard that nobody else is doing that makes that better for the Rockies? Right now I don't see any of that, and I don't know what they would say. I'm just throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what'll stick. But I don't want to hear Oh, they could compete for 500. They might be better than 500. You know, oh, that's good. You have to win 92 games, or right about there, to make the playoffs. You're telling me they're going to win 81, 82 games? Oh, that's great. Why should I buy a ticket to see that? I've seen that for 30 years. Show me something new. I don't really have much more to say than that. I think that really says it all right there. Again, I'm going to go forth and do some research tonight. So I don't know if those videos will be up tonight or if I'll wait to post those until tomorrow. Um, but that's the long and short of what I wanted to say today. Everybody take care and be good to each other. Thanks.